In Florida, today is day 2 in the trial of the man accused of attempting to assassinate then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Prosecutors say Ryan Routh camped out in the bushes for hours with a rifle while Trump golfed nearby at his West Palm Beach country club. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman is live outside the Florida courthouse in Fort Pierce. Katrina, thank you for joining us once again today. Routh is representing himself in this trial. So how has that gone so far?
Mugo, I have to say it doesn't seem as though Routh is putting up much of a defense here. Yesterday, he gave his opening statement, or he tried to. He was cut off by the judge due to lack of relevance to the case with what he was talking about. His cross-examinations of witnesses were very unorthodox, mostly very short. Today, he has seemed a bit more professional, a little bit more on track, but still, when he's cross-examining people, it's really just a couple questions. He has seemed stuck on asking people whether an AK-47 is always a semi-automatic rifle, so maybe he has some sort of defense he wants to try to make related to the gun that he was using. But all in all, watching him defend itself, it really doesn't seem like there is a lot of strategy here. And in fact, he hasn't objected at all when the prosecution is questioning these witnesses, to the point where Judge Cannon has actually mentioned a couple of times to the jury that they're keeping references to an attempted assassination of now President Donald Trump, to a crime scene, and she twice told them today that just because they're hearing that term doesn't mean there was in fact an attempted assassination. The prosecution still has to prove that case, and the jury has to feel that they've met that beyond a reasonable doubt.
It almost sounds like the judge is doing part of his job for him. I mean, when we talked to you yesterday, you talked about how he just rambled on, and the judge had to stop him. But I'm curious, what is his actual defense so far? Is he saying he didn't do it? What is his point in all of this?
I mean, he has not. We don't know yet. I mean, he has not yet had the opportunity to put on his case, but if it's anything like his cross, it's likely to be very brief. I mean, there are also these moments in court that are so unusual because he is the defendant, he is also representing himself. So yesterday he was talking to someone who was the Secret Service agent who says he saw Routh waiting at the 6th hole while President Trump was golfing at the 5th hole, came face to face with him, and he was saying to him, you put a weapon in my face. He said this multiple times. So it's such a different experience to, in court, see someone confronting the person that they say allegedly assaulted them.
Yeah. Katrina, have we heard anything of note today in the courtroom?
I mean, really what the prosecution is doing is laying out a very tight case. We're seeing a lot of visual evidence, 3D animations of the golf course, of the perimeter where Routh was hiding, photographs of what was there, his weapon, or a rifle that was found there. Also these metal shields that are supposedly bulletproof shields. A very strange theme that's come up is these Vienna sausages. During the prosecution's opening statement, they showed this photo of Routh. He had a container with some sausages in it. They said that they would come up later. Yesterday, one of the officers who had seen Routh's car mentioned it looked like someone was living in it. He saw sausages in there. At this crime scene, there are also sausages on the ground, some food there. So it seems to be this sort of odd thread that's tying this together. But really, they're showing in court the rifle, all of these objects that were found at the scene. We're hearing from the various people who were there, who went afterwards in the aftermath of the crime scene, and we're analyzing all of this evidence. So they are presenting to the jury what they believe happened that day in a very tight way, Mugo.
Wow, I cannot help but wonder what's going on in the courtroom. Really good to have you there, so that way you can relate to us exactly what is happening. Katrina Kaufman, thank you so much for your time today.